Hi, my name is Dominic Francisco,
My name is Fatima Lagos-Ochoa.
and the title of our game is Queens of Marais. So this is a horror survival PvP game that takes place in a swamp. So the objective of this game is to eliminate the opposing factions. So in this game we have two factions. We have survivors and we have monsters that begin on each corner. So between the two factions there is a strong imbalance between the two. For example, survivors start with 50 HP, although it can be upgradable later on throughout the game. For monsters, they already start out at the max HP capacity, which is 100. They also do additional damage, which we'll talk about later in the game. But one thing about survivors, though, is that they can obtain a lot of loot to help them kind of create some sort of balance against the monsters. For example, here we have different items scattered throughout the board. So before starting a game, we have what we call like little loot sets. So we'll put all the different items throughout the board, and these can be replenished every 20 rounds. Okay, here, and then with so sometimes you can find the little copper pieces. So if you pick one of these up, you can get one of these yellow loot cards, and you can see what you can find. So here we found one metal. So here these are the 4 possible items you can find within these loot cards. This is fabric, this is metal, gunpowder, and wood. These are only applicable to survivor players. Next one, we have 3 different types of herbs that you can find. They heal different amounts, and this is both applicable to monsters and survivors. One other thing that survivors can find throughout the map are little health upgrades. So one of these type of items. So these will allow survivors to upgrade +10 to their max capacity, maxing out at 100. The last thing you can find on the map is on the board is one of these special moss drops. So these come in every 5 rounds, beginning with the first round. This poses very powerful abilities for monsters and survivors once they pick it up. And then here we'll start with the survival gameplay.
I am a survivor. Survivors go first, and it goes survivor, monster, survivor, monster. Right now, I am at my weakest point. I only have 50 HP, and I don't have any loot or anything like that. So my main goal is to get away from the monster and escape to one of these safe houses because the monsters can't go in there. Also, we can only move on the yellow colored spaces, and we can't go into the water until we craft a boat from the trade area. Right now, the trade area is not of importance to me because during the trade area, we can craft different things using different loots that also do different things. This is a riot suit, subtract 3, but it costs different types of fabric. You can also have boats that cost a lot of stuff. You can also have a pitchfork, pickaxe, a sickle, different types of weapons that do different types of damage and therefore have different types of loot. I don't have any loot right now, so we should probably go get some loot. And I have a 4. I am out in the open if I have a 4, so my goal would be to get to either this house or the store. 2, 3, 4. However, say I get either an 11 or a 7. Let's just say I do that. 7. I can go over here, be in the safe zone, and I can pick up a loot coin. If I pick up a loot coin, I can go into one of these 3, which is the yellow one for loot, and I get nothing. So we start off really bad. And then, but I am in a safe zone, even though I don't have anything. However, say I get lucky and then I roll an 8. There is a survivor event card right next to the loot card, so I can go there and pick from the pink this time. And then I get minus 10 HP. So that's really unlucky for the survivor. I start off with 50 HP. Minus the 10, I am now at 40. The monster can potentially kill me at this rate, so I really do have to be in a safe house now. Okay, let's say during the next few rounds, we're able to make it all the way over here. I can pick up this health upgrade that makes me not only regenerate my health, but also increase the max health to 60. So it would completely heal me and move me up to 60. And then we can go to another survivor event card, and this time we have a stun bomb. Throughout the survivor event deck, there can be negative cards, positive cards, and little strategy cards such as this. You can only use this once, but you can use this whenever you want, so it could be wise to be strategic about it and use it when you really need it. In addition to that, I have a little partner here who needs some of my loot. Let's say I have all of this loot and I am willing to give some to my partner. We have to be on the same square in order to trade. And I can just give him, for example, if he needs to make a vest, I can give him these 3 fabrics, and he can give me some gunpowder, for example, if he doesn't need it.
Alright, so I'm a monster. So monsters begin on any of the 4 corners on the map. However, you do have to be aware of which one you do begin the game in, because that would be considered your home corner, like your home territory. You will end up having to protect this later on when survivors start getting bombs, but we'll explain that more later. One of the great advantages to monsters, aside from their attack damage and their max health capacity, is their ability to travel in both swamp and bridge squares. So they can basically travel on anywhere in the map except for buildings for now. They will have to upgrade that. So that poses a great advantage to monsters. However, one weird quirk about monsters is that by the start of every 10th round, they have to be behind this line, so on this side, and this will apply to any of the corners. So you will have to be, by the 10th round, you have to be back behind the line of any nearest corner you can get to, but only one monster. It's only one monster per corner, so you have to kind of strategize if you have teammates. The one over there. So let's say by the start of 10th round you didn't make it and you're over on this side of the line, then you get deducted minus 10 to your health. If you did make it and you're on anywhere on the side, these yellow don't count. You have to be behind these yellow squares as well. You'll get plus 10 health regeneration. So one that might not seem bad to get deducted minus 10 to your overall 100 health. This is one of the only 2 ways you can upgrade your health. So it serves to say that waiting another 10 rounds isn't the most optimal way to play as a monster. So you should be wary about your location at all times and try to get back by the corner to receive the health generation. So since you can't enter buildings and survivors start a little bit further away, one of the most important things for monsters to do, recommended, is to upgrade their abilities. So there's one of 2 ways they can do that. The first way is to do side quests. So there are different side quests throughout the game, and you have to do them in order. So these little side quest missions will force you to kind of go around the map and do little various activities. For example, here's the level 1 mission, which is the tower. So the tower is located on all the way up top. So if you can move me there. So let's say I land on the tower to do this mission. Here, I grab the mission card. So it gives you a little description, and it gives you two options. So let's say you find 3 survivors. Once you get to the tower, you can either attack those survivors or just climb the tower. And with each one, you roll a dice. You roll 1 die to see your probability. So if you get this done, you get if you get any of the missions done, you get bonuses. So let's say you did level 1. Level 1 is you get 15% health regeneration once you get behind a corner every 10 rounds. So these the abilities can vary. So let's say you do the level 2 one, 20%. Level 3, you get +3 damage. We'll explain that later. And then you can end up just keep regenerating your health, and you can even earn another dice attack later on once you do that. Once we explain the attacks. The other way to upgrade your abilities is to collect the moss drops. So this will be moss drops are very important to both survivors and monsters. Yeah, but so let's say if you land on there, these are very moss drops are very rare because they only appear every 5 rounds. So make sure to always keep track of your rounds. And once every 5 rounds comes up, you just grab, you don't look, you grab one of these random columns, and then you place that moss drop at 20, 32. So we have the column 20, and then we just go down 32. So I don't know, somewhere around here. But let's say for now we grab this one. Each one for monsters grants grants a new ability. So here we have another chart when we do grab moss drops. So here's the chart. So if you grab one, you can start destroying bridges. So this will be handy if you try to block a survivor's path to get some loot or try to corner them. Let's say if you're standing here, you kind of want to block them from getting into the store. Maybe you sacrifice a turn, but then you drop one of these X's and they will no longer be able to travel there. So if I manage to put 2 X's, they'll either have to go around or use some of their materials to repair this. Later on, you can upgrade once you level up, you can destroy generators. So you can find generators throughout the map, certain ones. So at some point you will be able to start entering small buildings. So if the building doesn't have a generator, they will no longer, you can start entering them, making them no longer safe for survivors. But if they do have a generator, you will have to destroy the generator first. So you put another X on the generator and it will no longer be safe for survivors, and you can enter. All right, so in this instance, we have both a monster and a survivor landing on the same square. So for this, a battle will start. So a battle lasts 3 turns. To attack your opponent, you use dice and you subtract that from your opponent's health. So survivors go first.
The survivor only has 2 dice, and I do 9 damage.
Okay. So since I start off at 100, I go down to 91. All right. So it's the monster's turn, and since they are monsters, they start off with 3 dice. So a little stronger. Oh, so that's 12. So that is 50, 40, 43. So yeah, so you go down to 43. And then 2 more rounds will take place after that. So let's say for this round, the survivor has a little bit of stuff from the trading store. So weapons, they add 5 to their dice roll, and armor will subtract some points from my roll as well. So we can
do another scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I start again with 60. And then I go. And I have 7. Plus 5.
From the pitchfork.
From the pitchfork is 12.
Yes. So if I started again, my 100 would end up being. You said 12, so 88. But monsters can also upgrade as well, aside from the 3. If you end up doing some of the side quests, you will be able to do more damage later on. So let's say you did +3 plus a dice. So if I can get 4 dice. So I get 4 dice here. Roll this. So that's 10, 14 plus 3, which is 17.
Minus 2 because I have a leather jacket.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. So I guess 15. So 60 minus 15, which is 45.
45.
All right. So let's say you did the 3 after the 3 rounds. Let's say both players survive. There will be immunity placed between them for 5 rounds. So they will not be able to attack each other again for 5 rounds. However, some strategy plays that can happen. Let's say if this person was near the monster as well, this player, since they already attacked, won't be able to attack this monster, but this survivor will still be able to attack again. So there can be some double teaming, a little bit of strategy play when it comes to battles. But overall, monsters are still seen as very, very strong. So another alternative to kill monsters for survivors is to collect the moss drops. So let's say you collected 3 of those moss drops and 5 gunpowder. You can go to the store and craft yourself a special moss bomb. So the way this works is that you go to one of these respective corners of the monsters. It takes 2 rounds to place it and to detonate it. If the monster doesn't catch up in time, then if the monster doesn't catch up to defuse the bomb and to battle the player in time, then the corner will explode and whoever's home corner that is will instantly die. So it poses a huge threat to monsters once that happens. So monsters will want to strategize with their corner and try to maybe place some bridges here to kind of delay the battle so they can get there in time.